This comes out today. Joe Biden, the current vice president, a U.S. senator, and the chairman of the Judiciary Committee back in 1992, a presidential election year, talking about what would happen if there was a vacancy on the Supreme Court that year. This is what he said.
It is my view that if a Supreme Court justice resigns tomorrow or within the next several weeks, or resigns at the end of the summer, President Bush should consider following the practice of a majority of his predecessors and not name a nominee until after the November election is completed.
Now, we should note later in the same speech, Biden qualified it somewhat and said, well, look, maybe if the Republican administration put up a more moderate candidate, I might consider it. But John Ralston, you know a thing or two about Harry Reid as well, who we played there. The Democrats are now saying the opposite of what they would have said before.
This is shocking, Steve, just shocking. I mean, can you imagine Harry Reid giving that speech if the president were a Republican or the Senate was controlled by Democrats? Of course not. Everything is situational. You wonder why Congress has a 10% approval rating, because they'll change what they say depending on what the situation is. So, of course, we all know what's going on here. It's very unfortunate, right? You have this vacancy on the court. It's a presidential election year where everything is subsumed by the politics surrounding the presidential race.
That's the thing, Chris. I can just imagine if you took the quote we just played and you said that a Republican senator had said it today, you would have outrage from Democrats. They would say this senator, and yet that was the Democratic posture back in 1992. So it just seems to me playing this forward, Democrats trying to get the moral high ground here, trying to tell Republicans they are under an absolute obligation to do this. That seems like a pretty devastating
So let me channel the White House. But Steve, you know, that was in June. We're in February now. No, I'm kidding. But the truth.
I have actually heard that today.
All right.
The difference between unprecedented constitutional obstruction and something totally routine is 3 months. I've heard
Sandra Day O'Connor, the retired justice, said, get on with